Farm for Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm for Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm for Profit Podcast.
We're down here at the National Farm Machinery Show. Welcome back to the Farm for Profit Podcast. This is Tanner.
David, day 3.
And Corey's here.
Woo!
Whoa, woo, what? It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's
Rachel,
Day.
happy Valentine's Day.
It is. Am I
Wow.
even in that camera?
Wow.
No.
Oh, baby.
No, we don't have Tanner on camera.
I'm not in any cameras. What a day.
Yeah, well, that's for the best,
It is.
I think.
Listeners, we appreciate you joining us. Everybody
Good work.
down here in the audience, we appreciate you for hanging out with the Farm for Profit Podcast.
Standing room only here today.
If you need anything from us, send us an email, farmforprofitllc@gmail.com. If you have questions, you can text in live. 515-207-9640.
Correct.
Yo 40.
Yes. Let's get right into it.
You didn't bring any flowers for our guest?
I gave them away already.
Let's get into the interview.
All right,
Go
I'll
for
get
it,
them
Corey.
introduced. Today on the Farm for Fun show from the 2025 National Farm Machinery Show at the Brant booth, we meet up with a man from a parallel industry to ag. He's in dirt and construction. This man also has a rich history in ag, owns too many tractors to count. In the last couple of years, he's bursted onto the TikTok scene with his down-to-earth charm, quick wit, and genuine advice. Please welcome from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Mr. Trey Bohannon, a.k.a. Trey Bo Dirt. Yes.
Dirty boy.
Yeah, we do have people clapping.
Our own dirty boy on Valentine's
Trey,
Day.
welcome to the show, my man.
Oh, thank you guys for having us here.
How are you doing?
Hey, doing good.
You got up here yesterday.
Yep, popped a wheelie the whole way up here.
Didn't have too rough of a night. It's
Yes.
9:30 here this morning, so
Yeah, well, and y'all's time is different here, so I'm sitting there calling folks back home, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking it's 7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
you're on Central Time Zone.
Yeah,
That's
so-
what we are too. So it's a little
Yeah.
different. It's a little different.
I kind of
It is.
messed up on the phone calls this morning. I knew that when one of my truck drivers acted like he was in bed still asleep.
Because he
And
was
he
still
kind
in
of
bed.
he was giving me that. Why the hell are you calling me at 6 o'clock in the
It's
morning?
6 in the
I was
morning?
like, well, I'm half hungover, and I just was, I was like, I want to make sure you did this.
Yeah, yeah. I get that.
So you can go back to sleep, but just make sure you do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what brings you up? You're in construction world. What brings you up to the National Farm Machinery Show?
So actually, this is my third or fourth year in a row. Actually, my fourth year in a row. And when I came up here 3 years ago, I met Travis Burkhart. He had just handed me a pamphlet. I stuck it in my vest, went back home that night, and told them, I said, mail them some money to the foundation. Mm-hmm. Well, then they come down and visited us, and that's how we got on TikTok. I've never had any social media.
Never before that.
Nothing.
He
Now
doesn't
you're-
even have an email.
No, I don't email.
I had to
I
email
don't-
Big Trey.
Yeah, I don't do emails.
How are you the boss of people and don't have an email?
That's why I'm the boss of people. Because I don't do emails. I
have
don't have
people to do that for me.
I don't have a computer. Everybody else does. I just,
I got email people.
there's people to do stuff like that. And then there's people that do stuff like I do.
He's got no digital footprint, but he got on TikTok.
yeah.
Makes sense. Right?
Well, Big Trey, it's all him.
Farmers, you do it all. So should your technology. Level up your equipment with the latest innovations from Ag Leader.
From sure force downforce control and sure speed high accuracy planting to right spot individual nozzle control, Ag Leader has you covered.
And now, with the new In Command Go displays, you get unparalleled visibility and control, keeping critical information at your fingertips. Upgrade today and reap the benefits this season.
Visit agleader.com or contact your local Ag Leader dealer to get started.
Oh, that's great. So came up here, and you can thank Mike Burkhart for being on.
Oh, yeah,
on
it's all
TikTok.
Mike's fault.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all Mike's fault.
in a way, we can thank Mike Burkhart.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was, 2021 or 2022, we did an auction for them.
Yes.
And, online auction.
For their foundation.
And we raised over $40,000
Oh,
for
Lordy.
them. And they started the Midwest chapter of TBF. And
It really solidified a lot of those TikTok relationships that we had.
Yeah.
You knew the people, but when you did that, then
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's just an extra level of connection.
Well, that was like Corey texted me the other night and said, hey, your glasses just sold at this auction. And I forgot about it.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I was going to bid on them. I'm like, okay, if these go for a couple $100, I'm going to bid on them and wear them during this interview because I knew we were going to. and then they went for like $1,500, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that! What do we got here?
Whoa.
Those are some fancy.
Yeah, they're getting too expensive. I buy them 4 at a time.
Ooh, they're warm.
They're warm.
They smell nice.
Not the first time.
Where were you last night? They smell good. It smells like glitter.
I was going to say, they got a little glitter there.
That literally is not the first time you've said that today,
I'm
Corey.
going to wear these on the whole podcast.
I've wore those my whole life. That's the guy I worked for wore them, and my dad wore them. So it just, I picked them up off the dash of the truck, and I'd jump on a Ford. I was at a 40-20 when I was a kid, and I'd jump on that thing and plow all day, or disc or plant, whatever Daddy wanted, and I'd be wearing a pair of them glasses.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the only thing on my face that didn't have dirt on it was generally just right around my eyes,
Yeah.
So you were a farm kid when you grew up.
Oh, yeah. All open cab.
Yeah.
If I had to start a podcast, I'd call it Open Cab Podcast.
You wouldn't be able to hear nothing.
Yeah.
But we didn't have anything. We did have a 1466 with a cab on it, but the air conditioner didn't work, so you had to run with the doors
wide open.
Yeah, and they shook, and
it was almost as bad as, or worse than not having a cab. You just funneled everything back in through the door.
It's horrible. And to me, that was one of the sorriest tractors ever built, cab-wise. Because you're sitting there with a 4630 with the throttle right here and a power shift, and then you got a 1466 with a throttle right here and a sorry shifter,
Yeah.
But they had good motors and they had good transmissions, but other than that, they were horrible.
Yeah.
So you didn't grow up in row crop country, though. You grew up in rice?
Yeah, so where I'm from, it's pretty much all rice. And there's some big rice. I got some friends that farm, 6,500, 7,500 acres of rice.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of the ground's zero graded now. So if you eliminate a lot of levees, when I was a kid, we put in levee gates. We'd have 80 levees in a field where now they don't have none.
Okay, explain that to us row crop farmers.
Yeah.
What's zero graded and what are you doing with your levees?
Okay, so like our ground was poor ground, so it had a lot of ridges and stuff. Or you'd have to pull your levees tighter, so your duals, when you're pulling, like we had a 850 versatile, your duals would be touching the next levee. You'd have them so tight, because you're trying to get up that hill, that ridge. And so what you're trying to do is keep that water level. So you can only get about 20 foot in your shortest, and that water level, you didn't want it to go over the next levee.
Okay.
So we had levee gates at the end of the fields. At the end of each levee, you had a gate, and every day you'd have to go roll it down, let a little bit go into the next, or if you had to flush the field after you planted it was dry, just to get germination. There was never anything easy about rice. And it's such an abrasive material, it eats the combine.
So getting everything perfectly level, is that why you got into dirt, more construction side?
So we had a few dozers. The guy that I worked for as a kid had 3 dozers, and then he had dirt pans, big old Clark dirt pans. Mm-hmm. And basically we would go in and try to knock out ridges and level as much as you can, but you're generally messing your topsoil up when you do it, so you're going to have to go back in and, put more lime, fertilize all that down, or chicken litter, whatever you're using. But it was a different world back then compared to what it is now. Everything around Stuttgart is zero graded, and then southeast Arkansas, it's just flat, So they go in there, work the ground, plant it, throw some water to it, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's and you're not battling when you're combining. Those levees were generally greener, so they would come off 2 weeks. That rice, the field would be ready. Your moisture would be 14% or whatever, 15. But the levees, you'd get green levees, so you'd have to, when you got into those, we had to mow gleaners back then, L2s, and in the evening time, we're constantly going over levees, but when you did get to that green one in the evening, and you heard those slip clutches go,
oh no,
we're into something.
You knew you better get your ass out of the field. And unload and call it a day. But you was always cutting knee deep, waist deep ruts all day long. It was horrible. And if you broke down out there, it wasn't any nicer.
So you grew up on a farm or grew up just helping farmers? So
we actually lived about 20 miles away. My dad always had that small farm, and then I went to work for George, and he had a big farm.
Okay.
He had a catfish hatchery where they raised catfish and stuff, minnow ponds. So in the summer we were building minnow ponds, and if we weren't doing it for him, we were building ponds for other people or leveling ground.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I got the little bit of dirt knowledge under my belt. He taught me how to shoot grade with a transit. We didn't have lasers back then. We just had a transit, so I was the one holding the rod most of the time.
Well, laser's kind of even outdated now with all the
GPS
GPS and all that.
GPS has took over. Yes.
Yep. So when did you decide to go out on your own?
Oh, pretty much when I was a kid. I quit school and I was landscaping houses. New houses would go in, and they would give me a budget at like $2,500. That was 1,000 yards of sod, 16 plants, 20 bags of mulch, and when I was 14, 15 years old, I could knock one out a week. And using the neighborhood help. And had a little Kubota tractor. So, when I was young, I was going pretty hard at it.
You quit school to do that?
I quit school. I would have quit in the 7th grade if they'd have let me. I hated school. And
So when did you quit?
10th grade on my birthday.
Some of the most successful people I know quit school.
I'm not saying I'm successful, but I do not like school.
Yeah. So did you ever go back and try to get your degree, or you were just done?
Oh, no. I actually did get my diploma through correspondence courses. There was a lady in our neighborhood, Karen Evans, and she had the first computer. Never seen the computer, and she had Prodigy on there. And
I remember that.
The kids today still play Prodigy.
Oh,
What?
do they? I don't know. I just remember that word because she was the only one who had it, and everybody would go to their house.
Prodigy
to use
was
their computer.
AOL Online.
And I paid her $900. She did the correspondence, and then on graduation night, I rolled up in there, and everybody's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" I was like, "I'm graduating."
Oh, jeez.
Cheating the system.
That wasn't cheating. That was just expanding.
I don't blame you one bit.
You had a landscaping business or lawn
I
mowing.
did. I built a lot of retaining walls.
Oh, yeah?
Paid,
I've done
paid
a
for
lot.
my first house, the down payment on my first house, putting everybody else's retaining walls in. I was in banking, and I was in banking during the 2007 housing crisis. 7, 8, 9. A lot of banks got houses back, and they learned very quickly that curb appeal was the fastest way to improve the value of a property. So I'd get hired to go in there and basically redo the entire front yard, front landscaping.
Yep.
And a lot of those were, had a little bit of slope to them. So I built a lot of retaining walls. Nothing super tall. I don't think I ever got more than 6 foot tall for a wall, but made a lot of money doing that. Same thing. They'd give you a budget.
Oh, yeah.
They'd say, hey, we got $5,000 to put at this. We just need it to look better. Sometimes you paint the front door, whatever it took. Just investors drove by, very rarely got out of their vehicles during that time.
Yep.
And if this house looked better than the next one,
They'd
you got
buy
a
it.
better bid.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've just always enjoyed working for myself and just doing the best I can do with what I have to do with. We run a lot of older equipment. We got new equipment, but, we still, a lot of people, comment on the TikToks and stuff like that about the older equipment. But that's what I know, and I can take that piece of equipment out and make money just as easy as I can do it with a brand new one. You know, when Big Trey always says it best, on the equipment, we send the right tool to the right job. If we're clearing ground, we send the old stuff. If we're sitting in building pads or whatever, we got the new stuff there.
So walk us through the scope of your business in Pine Bluff.
Okay. Well, so I started off mowing yards and doing landscaping. We still have mowing crews.
Okay.
So we do nothing but commercial big stuff.
Okay.
Now those jobs pay 12 months out of the year. Okay. So you get 52 billings, out of them. Let's just say we charge this facility. Let's say we mowed this facility. We charge them $5,000 a week, a cut. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be $25,000 a month times 12. It's cash flow. In the summer you don't make a lot of money, but in the winter it's just free money. So it's
And consistent.
It is, and then the dirt work. It's one of those. You might be on a big job now, and then you might not have one. In a month. You never really know. That's why I always tell folks, my business is like 12 months out of the year looking through 12 different doors. I can't see the next room. I don't know what's going on over there. And it could be really stressful sometimes.
Yeah.
I like that door analogy.
Yeah. Well,
You gotta have the faith, the belief in yourself and what you've built to go open the next door.
Oh yeah.
Because you might not like the next room, but it's still a room you get to go into.
Yeah, and you just got to do your best. This lady had sent me a quote, Miss Torchy down in Texas. She's in a nursing home. She's real big on TikTok. I think she's got close to 1 million followers.
Wow.
And she sent me a direct message the other day because I had done a video about not quitting, and she said, Trey, in boxing, you're not defeated when you get knocked down. you're defeated when you don't get back up. Mm-hmm. And that's the honest truth, you know. You just never know. You got to do your best every day.
There's a lot of good analogies come from boxing. What's the one, you know, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You know?
that's true.
But
That's
now
true.
you got to now what? And that's how you adapt to that
Yeah.
situation, right? So, I mean, it's not everything's going to be hunky-dory
No,
every day.
That's exactly right. You know, it's like farming. You know, y'all farm, and you know, I commend y'all for what you do because I could not do that. I don't feel like I could go to the bank and put everything I got on the line to make another year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you and I talked about that. You called me one day. I was like, I don't know how you guys do it. Get that operating line and have all that faith. You know, we're just all cash. We got to have cash flow.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. You know, and I tell my friends that farm. I got a lot of friends that farm, and you know, and I always say I can't believe y'all just worked all year to let another man tell you what he's gonna pay you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
that's the damn truth.
There is
You know,
some truth
y'all
to
can
that.
book your prices or whatever, but when it boils down to it, you're doing whatever that guy, you know, says they're going to pay for that grain.
Whatever the Chicago Board of Trade is going to give you for a price, and whatever the input suppliers are going to charge you, and
Yeah.
They said it's worth a little more today than it was last week. So
yeah, well, corn beans up a little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit.
What is corn going for a bushel?
We hit $5 on the old crop, and I think what I say this morning, Dave,
474.
470.
475, 474 on new crop. So which is we hit under $4 last
Yeah.
year before harvest, so a little better. But we need it because our inputs are still the same or worse
Yep.
than when they were $6.
Yep.
So
What's
Yeah.
the biggest variance in your business? Is it the labor cost and the fuel cost?
Labor is my biggest cost. We got a lot of guys, and so that's every week. Now, when the tanker trucks roll in, topping tanks off, that really doesn't bother me because if we're out of fuel, we're making money. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I love seeing them tanker trucks come in. It hurts your pocket,
Yep.
but when they're topping them tanks off, you're rolling.
Yeah.
So how many employees you got?
Generally we keep around 25 right now. I'm gonna say we're right below 20, somewhere in that area.
You slow down a little bit in the winter.
Yeah, and you kind of cut the bad out. You
Yeah.
know, not gonna float them all winter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So how do you go about keeping the good ones?
I pay them twice what they get anywhere else.
Really?
Damn right.
Hear that, Dave?
I did.
Hopefully your employees aren't listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dave is prepared to give y'all a raise.
Yeah.
You just gave a raise.
I
so
did.
that- yep,
I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's one
wasn't
comment I
twice.
said. One comment I said to her too was, "Hey, I don't want you leaving, so I want to make sure you're incentivized to stay."
Yeah, you saw she did a good job, and
Yep,
yep, didn't want her to have to ask for it.
that's exactly right.
Yeah,
And I feel like you treat your employees with respect. You treat everybody with respect, and treat them the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
And, we're like a big family at work. And some people say, well, I remember one guy left a comment on one of the videos one time. He said, there's no such thing as family at work. And I was like, well, that's probably why you're on your 40th job.
Yeah.
Yep.
yep,
You got to weed them bad apples out.
yep.
Yeah, we had an interview this time yesterday that was saying the same thing. You got some folks that multiple generations worked for them, started in the middle of their high school career, and
Yep.
still there to this day.
Yep.
We got some really good guys, and they're very knowledgeable on what they do. I don't sit over somebody's shoulder all day long,
Yep.
except the mechanics.
Gotta watch them.
I got Tommy's from Canada, so I have to
Oh yeah.
Oh,
stay on him.
He's the one you're always kind of giving crap
I
to.
spend more time with the mechanics than anybody.
Yeah.
Mechanics and truck drivers or the dirt pits. I'll be at the pits, stuff like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Those-
our biggest downfall we've had this year is leaving machines running at night. I swear. I woke up going to bed the other night and called Tommy. I said, anybody go to the pit and make sure that big link belt was shut off? He said, surely they did. I said, we're getting your truck drive over there.
If you didn't have that logo on your hat and you went to John Deere Ops, you could
You
see
could
that
see.
from your phone.
From your phone.
this machine's from 1999 probably.
Hell, it don't
Okay.
matter.
They
You can
got,
put them on.
they got
modem in there.
adapters.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
You can put them in your car. in
yeah,
your truck.
a lot of them old pit machines are older machines.
Yeah.
They're not.
What'd they say the other day? Anything with a battery. they can
Anything
have-
with 12 volts. That's
Yep.
what he said.
Yep.
I need to start a battery company.
No.
Every time.
Yeah, and just make them like they used to.
Oh,
Isn't it-
what is different about
Just
batteries?
Make them like
Oh,
they
they're
used to. 'Cause
crap.
I'll have a battery in a pickup that's 12, 14 years old. Finally goes bad, and you put the next one in, and it's 12 months. You got to
12
turn it in
months.
on warranty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, how can you have one battery? It's the same thing with we had a conversation about light bulbs.
We did.
I can have a light bulb last 10, 12, 15 years, and then you put the replacement in, and it lasted 2
Yeah,
months.
that's true.
Oh my God, LEDs are supposed to last 20 years.
Freaking dumb.
And tires don't last that
I was
long.
going to say that too. Batteries and tires, when you start adding that up on the farm or your business, it's like, boy, I got a lot of
Oh, and steer tires on them big trucks.
Yeah.
Man, them rocks eat them up when they're pulling in and out,
Yep.
them construction entrances.
Yeah.
We had one of those left something running for a while. We've done it before with a semi overnight in the field, and we were loading bales with the telehandler,
Left it running.
and he swore someone stole fuel out of it. couldn't
They
believe
always
it.
say that crap.
And then
you know.
we shows up, and was the key on? Yeah, the key was on. Well, yeah, the key was on, and the motor was warm, like it had just run out of fuel.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's the fuel. It's my father-in-law does this. It's the hours on the machine.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
got a
yeah.
machine that I think he's only driven probably 2,000 hours, but it's got like 9,000 because every time he's out feeding the feed bunk or cutting the bales
yes.
or anything, he just leaves it running. He'll go into lunch. He'll leave it running. I mean, and I swear it's they need like you know how they got miles on vehicles.
Yeah.
But then they got the hours of the
Hours
motor.
on the semi. Yep.
They need that on his tractor when it's moving or when it's not moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we turn something on, we don't shut it off, you know.
Yep.
I did that video on my diesel trucks, how we don't shut them off, you know, and talking about that guy out in Utah or whatever, the mechanic guy. And the video before lunch, it was at 1 million views, and well, everybody in the world, you need to turn them off. That DPF's filter's going to stop up, you know.
Yeah.
And you want to hear what's the funny shit? That day I left the shop and my damn regen thing come on right
after the
never
video.
done that
They're
before.
screwing me over.
Yeah, it was a mile. If I would have done the video, that would have never happened. So
Yeah. Has the DEF and emissions put a hampering on the business?
yeah, we have a lot of trouble with sensors and different stuff,
Yeah.
you know. But that's just part of it. You just gotta do your best with what you got to do with, you know.
Yeah.
And every time you see, whether it be a Komatsu or Cat or John Deere, whatever machine it is, that's going to be $2,500 to $4,000
Yeah.
every time they show up.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
And it's downtime,
It's downtime.
even if it's under warranty.
Yep, and it can eat into your pocketbook pretty good.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. But your tractor collection doesn't have any DEF on it. Well, I said in the intro, it's too many to count. I'm sure you know how many. How
It's
many is there?
around 200.
Holy smokes.
You have a tractor show?
Yeah.
Or tractor weekend, tractor week?
Yeah, we do. We
Is
do.
it just all your own tractors?
Well, it's my dad kind of started it, and we just worked together doing it. And the other day there was a big auction in Stuttgart, and there was I think they had about 50 antique tractors. And I was sitting there watching it on my phone, and I said I knew his bidder number because I knew which tractor he was bidding
Oh,
on.
these are the ones you were sending me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, he ended up with, I think, when it was said and done, 10 or 11.
Oh.
I thought it was 9, but I think it was 10 or 11. So I had to send the low boys over there to start hauling tractors on.
And these were not cheap. He
No.
sent me all these videos. Well,
Oh,
they
man.
were kind of special rice
Yeah.
tractors, right?
All of everything I collect's, rice special. Like my old combines, they're all rice special, and diesels. My L2 Gleaner's a diesel rice special. My 95R, it's like y'all had 95s
Yep.
up there, EBs or whatever. Ours had the R at the end for rice,
Huh.
And
There's your question yesterday. What's the R series?
well, there's
Rice.
rice. But all the tractors have the big rice and cane tires on them. Y'all call them Wheatlands. We call them standards. And we like LP tractors. I call them butane burners, and everybody else, they're like, they don't run off butane. I'm like, well, that's what we've always called them.
Yeah.
So-
Butane burners.
yeah, I did a video. It blew up a long time ago because I said, yeah, we were filling it up with butane. And the guy said, that's not butane. They have to, everybody has to argue.
They're going to correct you.
He's like, that's propane
Propane.
and propane accessories.
Propane accessory. 1075.
So why do you like the propane tractor?
All those motors just stay clean. I could pull one out of the woods, cut the trees out from around it, pull it out, go put tires on it, clean the points, put some fuel in it, maybe have to clean the regulator, and I'll have it running in a week,
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So propane's always been a clean burning
It's
fuel.
clean, yes.
That's like my generator. I bought that. It's older than I am, that whole farm generator.
Yeah.
And we put propane to it years later, and it runs like just started going.
Yep. And they run clean, and that was the fuel source in the South back in the day. Everybody. I remember my grandfather bought the first diesel Ford 601 Workmaster, and his uncles they farmed cotton, And they told him, they said, Woodrow, nobody will ever buy that tractor. You have to go sell it because it's a diesel. They thought he had made the worst decision in the world buying a diesel. And we still have that tractor, and the odometer says 9,999 hours, and it never rolled over.
Oh, it never did. Timeless.
Yeah, so
timeless.
Still have that tractor. My grandpa cut pulpwood with it during the week. He grew 40 acres of cotton every year that they hand-picked, and then he would hook it up on the weekends to the water pump and water the cotton.
Huh.
Yep.
So how do you keep 200 tractors in condition?
You don't. You don't.
Yeah.
It's like having 10 girlfriends. You got to rob Peter to pay Paul.
You got to rob Peter to pay Paul.
It's rough,
I mean, talk about batteries.
Yeah.
Tires. Not even on the stuff that's making you money.
So in the Midwest, everybody puts all of their tractors inside. Are yours out on a lot, or are they
No, they're all
on a roof?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Climate control.
And then I got a 1460 combine rice special that we redid. It's got the mud hog on it, 16-foot flex header. So that's my wheat cutting combine. And I can generally cut all our wheat in about a 12-pack,
I like guys that measure time in beers.
Yeah, about 15 Willie Nelson songs in a 12-pack. We call that Brooks and Dunn, Yeah,
that's great.
But the tractor show, we raised the money for Make-A-Wish Foundation or for the Shriners Hospital. 100% of it goes to that. It's 2 days, and it's a pretty big show.
Yeah. I mean, there's a trend there. You're always giving back, it seems like.
Oh, yeah.
Has that always been a part of you?
I've just always been a giving person because, anybody that's disadvantaged in a situation, I always try to make sure they got an upper hand, always try to help folks, We do a lot for different organizations. And
so is that tractor show the same weekend every year?
Yeah, generally it's the second weekend in October.
Second weekend in October. Yeah, you were trying to get me to come down. I'm like, well, we're
Oh,
going to be
man,
a little
yeah.
busy. Going to be a little busy second weekend in October.
Yeah, y'all are in full harvest. I
Yeah.
tried to get Tony down last year. I said, Tony, I need you to come to the show. He's like, man, I'm going to be picking corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
I hate that I missed him and Charlie yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, they were on another level. Well, Charlie was.
Charlie popped a wheelie, didn't he?
Well, he's sitting where you were.
Yeah.
Imagine getting him up and down.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the shape that he was in, double fisting. It took me and Cody Gare and Ryan Peter get him up and down.
Get him down.
Yeah. So
what other agriculture is there in Arkansas?
So what I'm seeing a lot of now that went away for about 20 years is cotton's coming back heavy.
It's coming back? Okay.
Oh, man, yeah. So you kind of ran into the cotton price went down. Mississippi still had a bunch, down in the Delta down there. But where we were at, most of that ground went to corn, soybeans and corn, that sandy ground, and then it's all back to cotton now.
Interesting.
Man, it's all back to cotton. And, everything where we live, they got to water all that. You got to water your beans, you got to water your cotton, you got to water your corn, and you got to water your rice. So it's everything you plant, you got to babysit all year,
Yep.
and them boys, they work hard. I mean, I give it to them. I couldn't do it,
So do you still own some farm ground?
Yeah, we still have some farm ground that we play with personally, and then we got timber ground, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we don't have any in production, so to speak.
Yeah. So where did Scooby come into the mix?
Oh, Scooby! Somebody dumped him off at the shop. He's just an old stray dog, but Jesus Christ, the whole world fell in love with Scooby. Have y'all seen him on the videos?
Yeah.
Oh, they love Scooby. Scooby's a biter, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Scooby, he likes to nip people right on the back of the leg for some reason. I don't know why he does it, but everybody
Must
loves
be a little bit of a herder.
something. Yeah.
Yep.
And now Scooby has found out in the back behind the shop where we keep all the pipe that possums and raccoons and mice get in there. Well, Scooby has to dig until he gets them out. There is holes everywhere.
Jeez.
So it's better if you see him out there digging, just go move the pipe, so he can get, like the other day, he had a possum. That pipe was 20 feet long, and he's looking in it, and so we had to stand the pipe up to get the possum out so he could. Every day when we come to work, he's got something dead laying out there.
Yeah.
He is a beast.
He's the chief rodent officer.
Yes.
Rodent, yeah.
We're going to put him up for adoption. Y'all need him for your podcast.
Keep the studio safe.
Yeah, we bought a Scooby collar for him, so he's got.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's got a Scooby collar now.
That was good.
Oh, people love Scooby. I'm like, they on the videos, they're always like, "Where's Scooby? Where's Scooby?" I'm like, "Look, this is not a Scooby Doo channel.
This is not a Scooby-Doo channel.
You know, but that's all they're worried about, Scooby Doo."
We guys saw the Uber guy that's got the dog in there.
Yeah.
He's setting his paycheck. He just wants the girls in the back because they love the dog.
Oh Lordy.
Everybody loves a dog.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a dog rode my truck for 15 years, and my lab, he died last year, January 23rd. We had to put him down, but his hips got bad. But I'm just kind of done having dogs for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down south, I always see the dogs that ride on the flatbed. And every time we go south, my wife's like, that dog's going to fall off. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not. And they can, like their center of gravity is just like surfing.
Well, that's how Boss, he would always sit up on my diesel tank on the back and stand with his body leaned on the window and have his head around the corner. We'd be going down the interstate 80 mile an hour. And women be driving by.
They're pointing. They're like, the dog's going to fall off.
They're calling you in because you're being mean to your dog or whatever. But Boss was a good dog. Then he would get up he would put his 2 back feet on the diesel tank and the 2 front on top of the hood, like we're in a long run, and the antenna's right there for my 2 ways, you know, and he would just kind of straddle that, you know. But yeah, he's done, you know, or that's what he did. You know, everybody knew Boss.
Huh.
Where have you guys been?
We just got back from the Custom Harvesters event where operators from across the country couldn't stop talking about Steinbauer performance modules.
Yeah, they're seeing up to 25% more power, better fuel efficiency, all with smarter injector duration and not altering the rail pressure for safe and reliable performance.
If you're looking to maximize your machine's potential, go to steinbauer.us and tell them Farm for Profit sent you to get yours today.
Well, we've been down here at the farm show. I've been kind of testing these boys on their knowledge of agriculture. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions here. They've got the answers if they're cheating and looking, but maybe you.
I won't look. I haven't looked at this thing yet.
A lot about it. Maybe an easy one for you first. Trey.
Okay.
Do you know what year the first tractor was invented?
Oh man, if I had to just go off a guess, let's say around 1915, somewhere in that area.
So that's about the first time John Deere put one out. 1918 was the first Waterloo boy. The first tractor deemed a tractor was 1892.
Oh
wow.
Okay.
Would you have gotten that? I didn't even
Well,
give you a chance
it
to
depends
guess.
on the definition of tractor. What about the old steam engines and stuff? Are those a tractor?
Yeah.
So that'd be later than that, or earlier than that.
Earlier than that?
Wouldn't
you
it?
think?
My grandpa, he always had mules when they were young. You know, they were poor. And he said, the worst day in the world, be hung over and have a mule that wants to fart all day.
That would suck.
That's something you never even think about.
That would be terrible.
Yep.
Yeah, I think one of the worst things now is being hung over and Corey farting.
I was going to say, these guys.
I would say maybe trying to go into a hog barn and do some hog chores hungover might be the worst.
Oh, Lordy.
That's no fun.
Okay,
That's no fun.
speaking of hogs, where did the phrase "bringing home the bacon" come from?
I would have to say from the slaughterhouse.
What do you think?
Going to the grocery store?
Bacon used to be given as prizes when you'd win competitions.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, forget it, medals and stinking ribbons. I want to go back to getting bacon.
Yeah, it's too expensive now. Now they're gonna give you eggs.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Bring me the eggs.
Bring home the
Bringing
bacon.
home the bacon. You know where apples came from? What country?
I'm going to go with Europe.
It is, yeah.
Somewhere in Europe.
It's just over there. It's not really
Poland?
Europe. Kazakhstan.
Who cut the apple tree down?
George Washington.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Oh, I was gonna say Johnny Appleseed.
Trump.
He planted them. That's right.
Oh, last one. Who created the term horsepower?
Ooh.
Horsepower. I know.
James Moose.
James Moose.
Don't let that moose cut loose.
You got a line of James Moose coming now, don't you?
Well, we got our own James Moose at the shop. It's real cutting edge.
Was that approved by Randy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's cutting edge. We shot a couple videos within it, you know. And ours is on the ag or the dirt side. Y'all are ag, you know. So we put it on dirt pan, you know.
Okay.
Really trying it out, you know. It's all American. I can tell you that.
Is it real horsepower?
Oh yeah, it's 180 horsepower. You know, But ours is I don't remember what Randy's was. Ours is a 1050 triple X MF.
Oh, you got the big one.
Yeah, we got the quad turbos.
Quad
Yeah,
turbos.
yeah, it's got quad turbos under the hood, and which
Because his is just the 1000.
yeah. See, he's got probably just a single turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours are all stacked. It's all about airflow.
Yeah.
On those Moses. It's all about.
Oh, we
airflow.
learned that here at the Tractor Pullers. They were telling us the same thing.
Yeah.
Add an intercooler to it, it'll probably get
Yep.
you another 100 horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the airflow. You got to
Yep.
push more air in there to get that fire hot. It's no different than a bonfire. You want to put the blower on it, to get it going.
Yeah.
That's the same way with the quad turbos.
Yep.
I saw a TikTok last night while we were getting ready for bed of those fire stoves. They're like
Yeah.
a square at the bottom and a big tall chimney that they cut cool designs.
Yeah.
Then they stick that leaf blower on that. And
Oh,
just
Lord.
sends that flame clear
Yep.
up the chute.
Gets it hot.
Yeah.
Gets-
I saw it already.
He's in Bush Light today. He was in Bush Light Apple yesterday.
There he is.
That's our guy.
Why don't you go get us a Bush Light?
Yeah.
He's
Number
probably got a
one fan.
backpack full of them.
He probably does. And that shirt, that looks like my combine.
Yeah.
It does.
What do you got Bush Light in that backpack? Oh.
No. He even apologized to us.
Yeah.
We didn't know you were going to be showing up.
So talk about your channel. I mean, I've said you give back a lot. I feel like you kind of give a lot of advice to people
Yeah.
on your channel.
Yeah, I try to help. I had two good mentors, and and I lost them. I kind of just a lot of people call in, and we try to help them. They'll direct message the office, and then they'll print off the email, and they'll set it on my desk, and I'll read it. And then a lot of times they'll leave their number, and I'll just pick up the phone and call them.
Yeah.
And we do that a lot. But there's a lot of young guys out there that don't have that support. They're questioning themselves. Hey, should I go buy this dozer? Or should I go buy this track hoe? And generally they just need hey, go do it. Don't be scared.
Elijah Hahn. That's who I think of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds similar.
Yeah. And we do the Trey Expo at the shop every year, and that's a big deal. This is where all the young guys from all over America come to the shop, and we do a 2-day class deal, and we cater it, have food catered there, and it's really good. We have Caterpillar there, John Deere, Kubota, Komatsu, just any major manufacturers there supporting it. Brings equipment to it, so it's like our own little show.
Yeah.
Treybo Expo.
Sounds like the Custom Harvesters event. Very specific, very niche crowd.
Were you doing that before you got on TikTok?
No.
No?
We went to Vegas, met a group of guys in Vegas that are good friends of ours now, and they're all big on TikTok. And we were out there, and they're like, hey, we all want to come to your shop. I said, well, if y'all going to do that, we're going to cook. And I was like, well, if we're going to cook, we might as well call these equipment guys, have them bring all the new stuff out, let these influencers do the reviews
Take
on
a
it.
gander.
So that's how it kind of, they get more, you get 300 influencers there. They get a lot more advertising out of that than anything.
So you went from no TikTok to 100,000+ on TikTok, but you don't have an email. What's your thoughts on social media? Like, did you think that was like something that would drive your business?
Not really. I mean, I couldn't make a TikTok personally if I had to. You know what I'm saying? Big Trey, they do all that. He's 100% the brains of it, and without him, I couldn't make a video. Y'all would be very disappointed in my videos.
Yeah.
Really?
So it's all you,
yeah,
but it's not you.
yeah. I'm just the talent.
So
that's why I was telling Corey, make sure when we had M&Ms up here to pull the green ones out. I don't like the green M&Ms.
Oh, yeah, the requests we had this morning, yeah. M&Ms,
No,
pull all the green ones out. We need black licorice.
Are those guys
ice
drinking
cold Bush
beer?
Light.
Are those guys already drinking beer back there?
They are.
Well, you did tell Big Trey to go get us some, and he did.
Look, he's talking about us.
Yeah.
No way.
Y'all could have brought us a beer up here.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks a lot.
I don't know how y'all do it up north, but in the south, we bring a fella a beer that's working.
Yeah, you're kind of like Beyonce Bo Dirt.
Beyonce Bo Dirt.
With all these demands you got.
Oh, my God.
No green M&Ms.
So when did Big Trey come into the picture?
About a month before I bought another company out, and he come to the shop, and we were talking about dump trucks and stuff, and he was like, hey, I can help you fix this. I was like, you know how to use a computer? And he was like, yeah.
You know, use a computer.
So I gave him an office, like it was real crappy and dingy, and
Yeah.
like there's probably a chance that a king snake's going to go across the floor in there or something, or old chicken snake. And I handed him boxes with stuff. I was like, we ain't build these folks in 3 or 4 months. See if we can get some money. And, man, he went to work and, just really pumping the trucking up, And so he's still over all the logistics of the trucks. One day we might have 2 trucks running for a week. The next week we might have 60 trucks running.
Oh, wow.
He has to kind of watch over all that and keep it lined out. And he does a great job, Plus he does all the social media stuff,
Yep.
And so it's a lot of work. He's
you don't usually see those 2 types of personality characteristics in one individual. He can stay detailed and have the numbers and chase the logistics side of the business, but yet creative enough to run your social media.
Yeah, and we bought that other company out about a month after he come to work for us, so it was a whole lot to deal with. And I actually just built them new office, year and a half ago, all new offices. And so he loves it. Like, he don't let nobody come in there. He locks the door. It's got 2 doors. It's supposed to be a receptionist there, and he was like, I don't want a receptionist in the office. I was like, okay, I do. But and that was probably the right decision.
So does he have a handle on TikTok? You're Trey Bo Dirt.
He does.
Is he like
the other Trey?
The other Trey?
Yeah, he's the other Trey. Yeah.
I could just imagine a receptionist working with him like, Trey, I've got Trey on line 1.
Oh no, we get
Trey
to jobs.
online
People they're talking to me about something. I'm like, I don't know who the hell you are. Or I don't know what you're talking about. And they're like, wait, man, you talked and did that. I said, you talked to the other Trey.
I'm telling you, it's the most confusing thing. Big Trey called me. He's like, hey, it's Big Trey from Trey Bo Dirt, whatever, on TikTok. Yeah. And I'm like, I think I'm talking to Trey Bohannon. And then all of a sudden another number calls me and says, hey, I'm Trey Bohannon. I'm like, what?
You get scammed.
Yeah.
Everybody gets confused.
It's like us with Rachel's.
Yeah.
Are we talking about wife Rachel or our Rachel or
old Rachel, new Rachel, Maya Rachel?
Yeah, we got a bunch of Rachels.
Yeah. Bunch of Rachels. Yeah, we did that video or that podcast last week, and it did really good. And I was telling the story about one of our old truck drivers, and his name was Kevin, that we had to let go. And so after that, everybody's calling a bad truck driver Kevin's now. They're like, we got 5 Kevins here,
We got Karens, you got Kevins.
I like that.
That
I really hope your name's not Kevin.
Yeah.
It's Bush Light Apple.
It's Bushlight Apple.
BA on Valentine's Day.
I heard the new Karen for like the Gen Zs is Jessica.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you're Jessica, you're the new Karen.
One of those might be a Jessica. The way they're looking at it,
it might be.
So you go to all these other shows in the construction world.
Yeah.
What's a show that we should go to?
Con Expo in Vegas.
Yeah.
Connex.
Yeah, you need to get a scooter though. It's so big.
Yeah.
And you're going to drink way too much. So you can go buy beer. I think they only sell 4 at a time. You can put them in a little cart thing.
Yep.
And scooter on out.
Well, maybe we should plan a trip next year that we all go together and do something like
Con
that.
Expo is going to be next March out there, and it's going to be huge.
Of course, it's
they only do it every third year.
Everybody.
What about World of Concrete? I saw a bunch of content from that last.
Yeah, World of Concrete was great. It's really not my forte.
Okay.
I demo concrete, but we don't pour concrete,
Yep.
So, there was a lot of stuff there I just wasn't interested in. But I had my buddy, he went out there to dig at Starnes. You probably see him on TikTok. He's real big in the dirt world, and me and him have become really good friends. And so me and him shot stuff out there and, got to visit and eat dinner, just hang out.
Yep.
It's all work, though. Believe it or not, when we go to these things, it's work.
Did you ever think
that's what happens here?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Did you ever think that when you got on TikTok that you'd have companies like Cat or Busy trying to, piggyback off you and get promoted by you?
I don't. I probably not. But once it got going, and the phone started ringing, and it was like all the big companies. I mean, we just went straight to the top after like a year. I was like, well, now what?
What is Busy? I seen you promote it all the time.
So Busy's an app company that's what we use on all our dump trucks, keeping up with trucks. And there's my boy Fuller right there.
Yeah.
Fuller's going to go bring us a beer. There's Fuller, the one and only. He's only had 82 TikTok accounts get banned.
Yeah, he has.
Oh my gosh.
But so Busy's been a really good partnership with us, on their app, and we represent them on a lot of stuff. And they got a new app coming out, and we're really it's a tool finder. Well, they got 4 different companies altogether. But this new one they got coming out, I can't tell you everything about it, but it's going to be really good for equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of logistics, kind of making sure all your stuff's in order.
Pretty much.
Yep.
And they're cutting edge. They're good people. It's a huge company. I didn't realize it was that big.
Do they
Busy,
just get
huh?
in construction, or do they get into
No,
ag?
they I guess they're just construction. You could use it on the ag side or
Yeah.
however you want to do it, because you could put the app on any of your workers' phones, and when they clock in, they got to be at your shop. You can put a perimeter around the shop.
Yep.
Oh.
So that's where you clock in.
I know another one like that. Jobber. Jobber is a good one.
management.
Yeah.
So you can it saves you money. It really does. And we have a lot of salary employees, so they don't use it on clocking in and out. They just use it on load count, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That'd be handy. We've talked to we keep talking about our interview that we did with Jesse Bounds and how he was managing his hay.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the same thing. I got 48 squares on this trailer, dumped them at this warehouse, log it, move on.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So you here just today, or
Oh, we're here today and tomorrow.
today and tomorrow?
Yeah.
So what are we doing tonight?
Uh,
Gonna get in trouble?
yeah, we're gonna do cool stuff.
Any
Is
good-
the tractor pull still going? I
It
I
is.
come every year and I've never seen that.
Any good at riding a mechanical bull?
No, all my little cousins back home.
Yeah.
That's all they do for a living.
That's all they do.
They ride bulls, and matter of fact, one of the world champion Chase Outlaw. He's from down there, and he runs around with my cousins.
Yeah.
Good guy, but he messed his shoulder up. But a lot of bull riders come out of South Arkansas.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you said Stuttgart earlier, and that used to be a dream of mine to go hunt the flooded timbers.
Oh, yeah.
Of Stuttgart for ducks. But I'm a
Yep.
retired duck hunter now. Do you hunt?
Oh yeah. When I get time, I mean that's pretty much all we do is, hunt the timber. We don't hunt the fields really.
Okay.
You
And then you were driving by. We almost did a podcast with him earlier. You were going up to pheasant hunt somewhere.
Oh yeah, up to South Dakota.
South Dakota, I was
Yeah.
going to say.
Yeah, the selectors up there, Andy and Deidre, and the Yost family. We've hunted up there 15 years, and they're like family to us. So I had to give Andy a big shout out on here, and Jeff, and DJ, and Caleb, and so the family's so big. Like we do a family picture or a group picture when we're at the end of the pheasant hunt.
Yeah.
And I always say, y'all better hurry up, take the picture before somebody has a baby, because every time we come up here, there's 3 or 4 more new babies.
That's funny.
Yeah, and
I didn't think that's the route you were going to go with that comment.
yeah, no, they're the best people in the world, and so they let us come up there and pheasant hunt, and it's a week of just fun,
Yeah.
and everybody takes off work, and we pheasant hunt, we cook, we just have a really good time. And South Dakota, they're in Miller, South Dakota, but they live in Polo, South Dakota. But all those people up there are just so nice.
Yep.
Every time I go in the gas station, anywhere from Iowa up, they're like, "Where the hell are you from?"
Yeah. That's called Iowa Nice.
That's Iowa.
We were at the bar last night, and someone said, "You're from Iowa." And I said, "Yeah, do you listen?" He goes, "No, I can just tell by your accent."
Really?
We don't have an
I
accent.
don't have an accent.
We're like the anti-accent.
I'm gonna start
got an
using that. I'm just gonna start telling folks I'm from Iowa.
It'll work.
They'll be like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, "Des Moines."
Des Moines.
Yeah,
That's
Des Moines.
that's the only town I know.
That will tell them that you're from Iowa for
Yeah.
sure.
That will tell
for
them, yeah.
sure.
That's the only town I can think of in Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
I'm from Louisville. I think I can make it. I'm from Louisville.
Is it Louisville or Louisville?
It's
Louisville.
Louisville.
Ah.
Like
Bush
marbles
Light
in your
apple
mouth.
Every
Wow,
time I
wow.
say it, and on a video that we're coming up here, or whatever, there's 20 people that correct me on it.
Yep.
So
I just want to keep saying Louisville, just so everybody just corrects you.
No, you're
Gets
wrong.
The comment section.
yeah,
Day 3, Louisville.
Hashtag Louisville.
I just say Louisville. We're going to Louisville, Kentucky.
So I got one. So when these guys, young guys, come to your what do you call it? Your
The Trebo
Trebo
Expo.
Trebo
Expo.
Expo.
like, what's the one thing? Like, we got nothing, but we know we want to get into this. What do you tell them to do first?
Like the first piece of advice I give the whole.
Yeah,
Group?
I mean, like if I want to go buy one piece of equipment or go specialize in one thing, where
Don't
should I
be
start?
scared. Don't be scared to go spend money.
Yeah.
And just like the other day, me and my dad were eating lunch, and the bankers walked by. 4 bankers walked by. They said hi to us, and they went and sit down. And the little waitress, when we were checking out, she said, "Them boys paid for your lunch. The bankers did." She said, "How do you get the bankers to pay for your lunch?" I said, "Come here, sweetheart. Let me tell you something." I said, when you owe them $1 million, you got a problem. I said, but when you owe them $10 million, they're going to pay for your lunch.
They're going to pay for it
because they got a problem.
They got a problem.
Yeah, they pay for my lunch, and I pay for their kids' college and their wife's rolls. And
and I got some good banker buddies. I mean, I deal with one bank pretty much, but my banker, I can pick up the phone and say, hey, we're going to buy this. This is what we're looking at. I'll get his advice, and pretty much he'll say, okay, get it, So, and that could be dangerous too. You put a redneck, with a big checkbook, then can go buy whatever he wants. That's not a good sign.
I thought his advice was going to be, all right, everybody who's young, don't get married because then you can have enough money to start your business.
Oh, yeah. If I had to do it all over again, I'd probably do this. I wouldn't change nothing, to be honest with you. I'd try not to drink as much.
Well, yeah, but you have a lot of good stories from that, I'm
sure.
I
do, yeah. We call it popping a wheelie if you drink too much.
Popping a wheelie.
Well, that's why you said you popped a wheelie all the way up here.
I did.
Context makes it all worthwhile.
Yes.
What's ag land go for in your area?
So a good piece of farm ground, and I'm going to say with a well on it, 0 graded, you're going to be around $6,500-$7,500 an acre.
See, Dave, are you licensed in Arkansas?
Isn't it funny though how he qualified that? Dave would say, if it's a fairly square, flat, and black farm with patterned tile, you qualify what good farming is. Yours is 0 graded with a good well on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. And then you can duck hunt it, so you can lease it out, to somebody for $20,000 or $15,000.
Yeah.
So a lot of my buddies that farm rice, they lease all that stuff out in the wintertime.
Yep.
And Stuttgart in the winter, it's a big tourist town for 2 months.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. It's a big tourist town, and it's jam packed. So if you go somewhere to eat, you're going to wait in line, during hunting season because all the tourists are there, And then when they're gone, it's kind of like peace. After the storm.
That's like living in a college town.
I was just going to say the same thing.
I'm sure all the restaurants and businesses, though, rely on that.
Oh, yeah.
Guarantee it.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
Tourist economy is tourist economy.
I know. You just like up in northern Wisconsin, if they don't have snow, they're sad.
Well, heck, at PBR last night, this entire conference was at PBR. Would they have had anybody there?
Right.
Nobody.
No, because the brand new Italian place that we got our first drink at had nobody in it.
Nobody.
No.
Yeah.
They count on tourism.
Yeah.
Or events at the event center.
Exactly. What do you think, Tanner?
I'm out of questions.
You're out of questions. What would we miss? What do we miss about you?
It's
got to be a
good
good
looking,
story. Yeah.
well dressed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's it.
That's
charming.
Very uneducated.
No one picked up on my charm comment. I said charming.
Did you?
Yeah, I did say charm in
didn't
the intro, so I thought I might get some flack for that. But I thought.
Well, I can't hear shit anyways.
Yeah.
And plus, I got these earmuffs on. I feel like we're trying to get clearance to fly somewhere.
So this is your 4th podcast?
Yeah, this is 4th podcast.
So you're well seasoned now.
Yep.
First one in ag.
Yes, this is my first one in ag, and I've enjoyed it. It just something different. It's what I grew up doing. I would love to farm. I honestly would love. I don't think I'd be a good farmer, to be honest with you. I don't.
Why not?
I just don't think I would be.
Here's why I think you would be, because I've been saying this probably the last half years, farming is all logistics, and I think a lot of construction is probably logistics, making sure the right people and machines are where they're at, and if they're only going to be this many hours because you got a budget, and that's kind of what farming is.
Yeah. The equipment's so expensive now.
Yeah.
And I see it from my point of view. Y'all see it because, hey, we got to have this stuff. I look at it back here, I'm going, I ain't paying $900,000 for a combine. You know what I'm saying? I'm out on that. I'm not paying $500,000 for a damn tractor. You know what I'm saying? I'm out on that. Y'all's industry is the only industry that y'all buy every damn thing at COVID retail price and sell it at bottom market wholesale price.
That's true.
You're
that
right.
is true.
It's just I couldn't stomach that.
I've always heard salespeople say that the construction guys, they love selling to construction guys because they walk in and they need a new skid loader.
Yep.
No emotion.
They go, yep, yeah, we need a new one.
It's a tool. That's
We'll
it.
take whatever is trade,
Yeah.
Well, I guess y'all's deal would be like, so if you had to buy this $500,000 tractor and you picked up 2,000 more acres or whatever, could you get by without that? That would be where I would teeter. I'd say, I think we can do it without it.
I could, but I'd argue that most of the guys probably don't have the shop with the mechanics in it to up on the extra expenses it's going to take.
Well, we've had a couple of episodes to where they really dove into the math behind what new with warranty or what lease looks like.
Yes.
And it is fascinating when you get to a level of scale and you can look at it as a business. But
yes,
I chuckled when you said you didn't want to go buy a $500,000 tractor because you'd rather have 200 tractors.
Oh yeah. Well, those
are Schedule F write up. Those are Schedule F.
If you told me I had to start farming tomorrow, and you said, Trey, we're going to give you 10,000 acres, and you got to farm this, okay?
Yeah.
This is my approach. I'm going to build me a big shop or buy an existing shop with big lean-tos and all that. My combine choice would probably be 9670s. John Deere, somewhere in that, maybe 9680s with mud hog. I would go buy some older ones. I'd probably buy 5 or 6 of them, and I'd buy a couple for parts from the salvage yard. Then I'd go buy me 15 8400 John Deere tractors, and I'm going to work.
That'd be a fun setup.
I think that'd be great. Maybe 8410s, but
or the 10 series, yeah. But your cheap horsepower. They were a great, reliable tractor. They were pre-emission. And you're going to have breakdowns.
They didn't really turn worth a shit, but that's all right.
Yeah. So, get a bigger field then. Just get a bigger field.
Just say 10,000 acres, all one piece.
All one piece.
But that would be my approach to farming. Now, I know everybody that's watching this is going, that son of a bitch is crazy,
But if you would just invest in the talent in the shop. Invest in the shop and invest the talent in the shop.
Our money's going to go into land. We're going to buy land.
Yep.
It don't matter if it's 10 acres a year. I'm not going to put it in equipment. I'm going to run old equipment. And if we have an extra, let's say you farmed all year and you got extra $200,000 sitting there, we're going to try to find a 10 or a 40 or something.
Yeah.
And just continue. I mean, I've always done that, buying land.
Yeah.
Everything else is bullshit. At the end, I'm telling you, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
We'll clip that. Buy land. Everything else is bullshit.
Yeah, you just made a Whitaker Marketing Group commercial.
Yes.
You look at
This Treybo Dirt for Whitaker Marketing
This
Group.
is Treybo Dirt for buy land. Everything else is bullshit.
Well, I mean, you look at your most successful farmers anywhere, and their grandfather or their father bought land, and that's why they're successful, because they're not paying. I don't know what cash rent goes for up here. Back home, they get a fourth. You know what I'm saying? Landowner gets a fourth, of the crop. So I don't know how y'all do it.
Imagine on $20,000 ground, get a fourth of that.
Well, fourth of the crop.
Yeah,
No.
I think I've heard like
value.
some 30 to 34% crop leases.
We're in a 30% relationship with one landlord.
Yeah.
That's steep, isn't it?
There used to be a lot of 50-50 share crops.
Well, yeah. So
just-
there was some of that going on 10 years ago back home, and the landowner liked it and the farmer liked it because the farmer didn't have to put out all the all the money, so he was able to farm more ground or whatever. But I honestly think all these young guys, if they would quit focusing on going and buying these expensive tractors, because y'all are in a business like I am. The dealer is going to be your friend. Your reps for seed or chemicals or whatever, they're going to be your friends, and you always want to try to do business with your friend.
Yeah.
But if you can't pay that friend, see how long that friend's around. Okay. So I just don't believe in going out and buying. How much is a new front wheel assist tractor? I don't know. I'm out of the range.
400,000.
Yeah.
500.
Okay. So I wasn't too far off, right? But that's if I took 500,000 and put it into commercial dirt side, I'm gonna double or triple it in about 6 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not going to double or triple a
Exactly.
tractor's worth.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Huh.
So
Good stuff.
you ready to start getting in the dirt business, Corey?
I don't know. I'm sure it has its challenges as well. We're not very good farmers, or at least me. I'm not very good at managing people.
Yeah.
So I would struggle with that aspect.
I was going to say it's kind of like investing in rental houses versus investing in farmland. In houses, you got toilets, and turmoil, and tenants.
Yep.
And then on farmland, it's just, go ahead, do whatever. I just want my check.
I don't like rental properties. I got a lot of friends that were like, oh, but I don't like dealing with nobody like that.
Yeah.
Don't call me if the toilet didn't flush.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
That's good.
Well, Trey,
this is fun.
Yeah, we started talking last summer, probably before your tractor day. And we knew we were going to do a podcast, and we knew we wanted to do it in person. So I'm glad you were actually finally able to make it work.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on here. They, coming behind. You had Tony, and then you had Charlie the Trucker. I'm just kind of low man on the totem pole here.
No. This is just you didn't come till yesterday, so this is the day we got you the first time.
But I do have my biggest fan base out there with Fuller.
Yeah.
Fuller. That's his uniform.
That is his uniform.
That is his uniform.
Fuller's uniform. Yeah. You never seen him not in that.
No.
Farm bougie.
I think he sleeps in that. That's his pajamas too.
Well, that might be the only damn clothes he's got. He might really not be that smart.
A lot of rich people wear the same thing.
I know.
All in it because you don't want that brain space of what am I going to wear today.
Yeah.
You just get one outfit.
Yeah,
and go with it.
And Fuller's probably that guy that sleeps on top of like $1 million every night.
Yeah.
And then complains about it being lumpy.
Yeah. He's the only guy I ever know that always friend requests me about every 10 days because he gets kicked off one account. I get a new
is this you or is this spam?
I get a new friend request from Fuller about once a week, and I always know what it is.
Yeah. Oh, great. Well, I say crack a cold one. You deserve it.